Hey, what is up, all you lonely watchers out there? Being a Yokai Watch fan as of late has been rough. For the last couple years, Level 5 has been engaging in various scummy practices such as shutting down fan games, implementing NFTs into their releases, and embracing the use of generative AI within their projects. This has led to a further tarnished reputation for Level 5 and all of their IPs, especially Yokai Watch. That is why today I decided it's time to go over every mistreatment of the Yokai Watch brand Level 5 has committed, what we can do about it, and how to preserve your interest in Yokai Watch while doing what's right. It all started back on December 13th, 2023, where Level 5 officially revealed their use of generative AI in future projects to the public. Despite this, AI-generated content had yet to appear in their games. The main example given at the time was the key art and title screen for Level 5's major release that year, Megaton Musashi W, Wired. The general idea was generated with AI, while the final asset was made by a human artist. A similar approach was taken when making the 15th anniversary graphic for Inazuma 11. Level 5 also showcased AI as a way to upscale human-made art, fill in repetitive assets such as crowd shots, and create 3D models based on 2D illustrations. Level 5 also revealed they were using LLMs, or large language models such as ChatGPT, to assist in the coding process. People weren't pleased by this announcement, but they also didn't completely lose faith for the most part. Most of the examples given were human artists using AI as a tool, not as a complete replacement for their artistry. The presence of Nate in one of these examples did, however, begin to worry Yokai Watch fans. Those worries would later be confirmed. During this time, fans were eagerly awaiting the full trailer for Yokai Watch's next concept, Holy Horror Mansion. The trailer was promised to premiere at the To the World's Children Vision, which was originally scheduled for April of 2024, but got delayed until September. The Vision still delivered on said promise by closing with said Holy Horror Mansion trailer, and it was less than ideal. The trailer was littered with AI-generated backgrounds, including obvious signs such as uneven patterns, unnatural objects, and nonsense words. Some fans were immediately outraged while others remained optimistic, citing Level 5's previous confession about their AI use and assuming the company didn't have enough time to make a proper trailer. Even if this was merely an issue of time, it would still be better to delay the trailer rather than give such an awful first impression. This was the first bit of Yokai Watch news the West had seen in years, and it was immediately used as an example of how Level 5 was losing their way. Level 5 immediately announced the game would be getting a cross-media showcase presentation in spring of 2025, which never came to pass. What did come to pass, however, was an interview with Famitsu where Level 5 CEO Akihiro Hino stated, "Currently, around 80 to 90% of codes are written by AI and then fixed up and finalized by human programmers." In other words, it means that right now, around 80 to 90% of games are made by AI. While Hino was more likely referring to the industry at large, neither interpretation is that pleasing to hear. If this is what Hino assumed of the rest of the industry, just imagine how bad the AI use was at Level 5. From that point on, Hino would continue to praise generative AI during every future interview he did with any other publication. Things were already bad by this point, but the true storm started on April 1st, 2026. As part of one of the most tone-deaf April Fool's stunts in gaming history, Level 5 posted a fully AI-generated video to their YouTube channel depicting a concept for a Level 5 theme park. The video features such series as Professor Layton, Fantasy Life, Inazuma 11, and of course Yokai Watch. This was Level 5's most unashamed use of AI yet, treating it like it's a funny joke. To their credit though, Level 5's Japanese fans did treat it as such. This isn't entirely surprising, as Japan has a different relationship with and view of generative AI compared to the West. Japan has a long history of belief systems that propose that even inanimate objects have their own spirit within them, leading them to humanize technology and other inanimate things in cultural works. Generative AI is also seen as much more beneficial in Japan due to their declining workforce and general epidemic of loneliness in the country. These issues lend themselves well to trusting potentially quick and easy fixes such as AI image generation and AI chatbots. Westerners are more likely to oppose AI due to the theft these models are built on, fear of losing jobs, and the heavy amounts of energy and water consumption on the part of AI data centers, often causing clean water shortages in the surrounding area. These two cultures have been frequently clashing over Level 5's AI use since the Level 5 Land April Fool's video released. Only a few days after that, on April 6th, Level 5 announced their next vision, ironically titled Takumi, which roughly translates to craftsmanship. People became extremely worried over the level of AI nonsense Level 5 would show after they displayed their complete lack of shame earlier that week. The vision was streamed to the public on April 10th, and on top of the AI teasers for games that are already 2 years late, as well as the AI-generated background that Hino loves, we actually got 2 Yokai Watch announcements. The first was a snippet of gameplay from Holy Horror Mansion, which, while it doesn't seem to be using AI this time, it still came with this Yokai Watch and Unreal Engine look that made fans uneasy. The more interesting announcement was the fact that a scrapped Yokai Watch story titled The Great Detective Nekomata was coming to Yokai Watch Puni Puni as a dedicated event. The reveal went from slightly disappointing to devastating when the trailer started playing and it became apparent it was animated with AI. While the character design seemed to be human-made and no game content revealed for the event so far has been AI-generated, this trailer gives a just as bad, if not worse, first impression than Holy Horror Mansion. On top of that, Level 5 keeps drip-feeding us information on the Detective Nekomata website, and they haven't even told us a general time frame when the event is supposed to take place. The website used to have pre-planned information reveals, but that all just suddenly stopped. A week after the vision, Level 5 revealed that the immediate next Puni Puni event would be one containing AI model-based yokai such as Nyat JPT and Coma Pilot. While the event makes fun of AI and its uselessness to Yapple Inc., it was still yet another tone-deaf announcement. Level 5 can't play both sides. They can't joke around about generative AI while extensively using it themselves. Level 5 wouldn't punish the fans with just AI though. The company took this massive ill will towards themselves as an opportunity to channel their inner Nintendo. Not like they could ruin their reputation much more than they already have over the past month or so. Around a month later, a fan mod / Spanish translation group called El Cuartel Blasters announced their intention to remake Yokai Watch 2 in the style of Yokai Watch 1 for Nintendo Switch on Nintendo Switch, mobile devices, PC, and even VR. Not long after this announcement, the El Cuartel Blasters X account was disabled and Level 5 put out a statement not naming but clearly directed at said mod. This message denounced any fan-made modifications to their games and threatened legal action against any such projects. The legality of this remake was never even confirmed to be a concern, since similar projects require the verification of a legal copy for the game to run. Even if this was deemed piracy and Level 5 had the legal right to shut it down, why should they? Yokai Watch 2 is no longer accessible via official means. Fan projects like this keep the series alive while showing Level 5 that there is still clearly a large amount of Western interest in Yokai Watch. Another big part of this controversy is the fact that piracy is seen as a much more heinous crime in Japan and has much stricter regulations in comparison to the West. This led to an even bigger flame war between Japanese and Western fans on X, where some compared the act of piracy to sexual assault. I would like to point out that these kinds of people are outliers and don't represent the fandom at large, but it's still very jarring to see. A petition was created on change.org not long after the statement, asking Level 5 to make the Yokai Watch games accessible to Western fans in order to curb piracy, which amassed nearly 20,000 signatures. Level 5 has yet to respond to the petition. June 30th saw the reveal that Level 5 would be collaborating with Sankyo to produce a Yokai Watch-themed pachinko machine. Pachinko machines are physics-based games similar to pinball, which have a long history of being used as a loophole for gambling in Japan. So basically, this is the equivalent of Level 5 releasing a Yokai Watch-themed slot machine in the West. Many fans saw this as a straight up predatory practice by both preying on the newly adult fans of Yokai Watch and forming more positive associations with gambling within the minds of younger fans. And the latest of Level 5's transgressions is in relation to another fan project, Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble Reloaded. This was a fan project by the Reloaded team, which brought back the Western version of Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble via custom fan-operated servers. The game retained most content present in Wibble Wobble before the shutdown, with the rest on the way in addition to a version for iOS. Unfortunately, the servers were only active from July 7th to July 22nd, 2026 before Level 5 took legal action against the project. It's still possible to host your own games, but the project has become inaccessible for many people. The Western version of Wibble Wobble is basically a completely different game in comparison to the Japanese version, and now it remains basically unplayable yet again thanks to Level 5's antics. All these recent attacks on the community and the series at large can be disheartening, but there are still a few things you can do. 1. Download any Yokai Watch mods you have an interest in playing right now. While Level 5 has only gone after revival projects so far, the language used in their initial message threatened any game modifications such as bug fixes or translation patches. Even if you have no way to play said mods now, it's crucial for you to back up these files now in case they get taken down. 2. Make your voice heard. Never back down on your stance with Level 5 and make sure they can hear your anger. A majority of replies to Level 5's social media posts are very negative towards the company, which is a good sign. 3. Vote with your wallet. I don't want to shame anybody for buying video games, but if a company or a specific product from them is violating your moral code in some way, don't buy it. Level 5 will not stop making slop as long as it sells. Remember, there are other ways to enjoy entertainment and other types of entertainment to enjoy. And 4. Don't let the company's current actions ruin what came before. The depravity of Detective Nekomata should in no way affect your enjoyment of the original Nekomata. You don't have to abandon the series entirely just because the newer entries and stories are disappointing. This goes for any franchise, even if it has nothing to do with AI. We Yokai Watch fans need to stick together in times like these. Being a fan may suck right now, but we can get through anything together. Yokai Watch was very special at one point, and it's that spark that brought us all here together and continues to keep us here as Level 5 desecrates the series. We all owe it to ourselves, as well as the Yokai Watch that once was, to never let that spark die. Keep playing, keep creating, and as always, keep watching. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye, my lonely watchers.